everyone. Happy Thursday. How are you? How are you doing this evening? Hello, Toon Army 98. Thank you so much for joining. Hello, Portia. Thank you for joining. MIP Online. Thank you for joining. I really am so excited that you all are here. Portia says, hello, darling. I wish I could say it like you, darling, with a southern beautiful accents. I'm so happy that you are here. Thank you everyone for joining. Today I am actually doing a Periscope topic that was inspired by Perry 10K. Perry 10K is a group, an awesome group online that is designed to collaborate, support, and encourage a group of Periscope that are thought leaders and change makers. It's an awesome group that I am just become a part of. And they have share-a-thons daily, and they have awesome, inspiring topics. So one of the topics, not today, so they had a share-a-thon today that had great topic, but yesterday the topic was overcoming fear, and I wasn't able to scope about it yesterday, so I figured why not talk about it today, because overcoming fear is one of the things that I love. So hello everyone. For those of you that are new to me, my name is Brooke-Sidney, and my company is called Bella and the Babe, and it's all about empowering authentic motherhood. And today my scope is inspired by a topic that Perry 10K basically featured during a share-a-thon all day yesterday. So there are tons of scopes out there. You can actually search for Perry 10K like on Twitter, and all of the members will come up that talked about that topic. But it was all about overcoming fear. And there were so many great scopes yesterday because everyone has a very different way of approaching this amazing topic. And so just a little bit of housekeeping. If you hear something today that sparks your interest, that resonates with you, that you like, please double tap the screen. Just give me hearts. I love them. It's a way for me to know that what I'm saying is resonating with you. And feel free to pop in with questions. I love Periscope because it is so interactive and gives us the opportunity. So it's not just me talking, it's totally a communication. It's like interactive. We can all share. So with that, I am going to, and definitely when you come in, introduce yourself. I love knowing who's here and where they are coming in from. I am in the beautiful and sunny, and the weather actually is really nice here. It's about 78 degrees, which is the right temperature. We've had some really hot weather. So thank you so much for the hearts. But yeah, so the topic is how to overcome fear. And I have a very, I think, interesting take on it. I believe that we overcome fear by first understanding it, what it is, and two, by then embracing it or befriending it. So the first point, and that's basically, let's understand what it is. So, basically we know that fear is based on a biological response. Like we were designed to have this fight or flight response. Portia says overcoming fear, one, understanding what it is. Thank you so much for helping me out with the note keeping. Yes, it is based on a biological response. Like we have this response that is built into us to either fight or flight. And ultimately that was built into us to keep us safe, right? Like that's how it kind of plays itself out. If we were, if we were hunting for something, we would want to run away if like a lion came up to us, or those kind of things. But today in our modern world, like fear doesn't serve really that old purpose anymore. Really, fear has basically just been ingrained in us through patterns of thinking. Thanks so much, Portia. Fear, biological response. Yes, thank you. It has just been ingrained in us as terms of a way of thinking, but also as a way to keep us safe. So just when you think about fear, think about safety, right? Like keep that in mind. And then know that in the same way, fear is actually not going to kill you. Unless for some reason you have this crazy panic attack or whatever, like some weird exception. Fear in and of itself is not designed to kill you. It is actually designed to keep you safe. So understanding that, I think, is one of the keys to overcoming it. And then we know, I'm sure you all have heard this acronym, fear is false evidence appearing real. So basically, it is usually your mind running away with itself. A lot of times the fears they're not even real. They're not even actually something that is currently happening. A lot of times it is us projecting onto the future what could happen. So just knowing and understanding that, where are you right now in the present moment? Because you might just be making something look real that's actually not real. And then the last thing you should know is that fear is not of God. I mean, we know this from the Bible. It says in 1 Timothy 1:7, for God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. So we know that it's not something that we are supposed to live with. We are not supposed to just be walking around fearful. That is not the nature that we are supposed to be walking around and living in, both as parents, as humans, as entrepreneurs, business owners. That is not what we are supposed to be living. Our life is not supposed to be full of fears. So once we understand fear, we know that it's false evidence appearing real. We know that it is based on a biological response. It's designed to keep us safe. And we know that we were not built to be fearful. Like, we were not built to be fearful. That's just not the way we were made. However, it has a point. So the second part, and I feel like this is the key part for most of us, is that we know that we're going to have fears. But we need to embrace it, or as I say, befriend the fear. I find it really, really funny when I hear a lot of people say that they don't have fears. I think that is almost not really believable. I think that we have fears, but a lot of us have learned, all successful people have learned how to understand why they're feeling fearful. Thank you so much for the hearts. They understand why they're fearful, but they don't let fear stop them. They embrace the fear. They befriend the fear. So my first thing to tell you all is feel the fear and do it anyway. One of my favorite books is The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. And in it, he talks about this principle. He says that basically all of us are going to have fears, but fears are not supposed to stop you. Thanks, Portia, you should feel the fear and do it anyways. And you want to act as if. So it's like you just want to do whatever you need to do, knowing that fear is there, knowing that you might be afraid in the moment, but that can't stop you. The second thing that I have learned in my life and in my experiences is I've actually learned to thank the fear. So, what this actually looks like is when you become scared of something, I know that it means a couple of things. It means that I am breaking out of my comfort zone. Because again, if we understand what fear is designed to keep us safe. So if we have fear showing up, that means that we are busting out of the comfort zone. It means that we are getting ready to break through to another level. It means we are moving out of our normal. We are creating a new normal for ourselves. It means that we might be breaking some new routines or creating new routines. It basically just means that we are growing. And so it's almost like a growing pain. I think that's a great way to look at it. When you start feeling fear, you are probably on the right track to improving your life, to growing, to developing, all of these things. That's why I feel like fear is your friend. It is your friend because it often shows up to let you know, hey, I'm probably on the right track. I am doing something that's stretching myself. I am doing something new. So you don't want to have fear and then get so afraid that you stop. You want to acknowledge the fear. And if you recognize it, I often thank it. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for letting me know that I am busting through a wall. A lot of us, as we continue to grow, thanks, Portia says, excellent point. Thank you. A lot of us, as we continue to grow and develop, we hit what's called our upper limits. I'm sure you guys have all heard of that. There's a book, I think it's by Guy Kendricks, about the big leap, called The Big Leap. And it's all about breaking through our upper limits, our upper ceiling. And that's basically when we have grown a lot, but There comes a point when we're even trying to grow past that normal point. So we're trying to even expand beyond what we even thought we could do. And if we don't expand, then oftentimes we start self-sabotaging. We start doing things based on fear that are not in our best interest. So it's really important that we continue to be self-reflective, look at our lives when we start feeling fearful, which is totally normal, by the way. It's totally normal, but we can't stay stuck in the fear. We acknowledge it, we think it, and we feel the fear, and we do it anyway. And a way that we can do this is we can fight fears with prayer, meditations, affirmations, and declarations. Whatever works for you. Me, I use prayer. I will post a prayer or scripture up for myself. Some people use affirmations. Some people use declarations. They declare, I am busting through this fear. Fear, you don't got me, I got you. I can do this, whatever model. Feel the fear and do it anyway. I used that one for a couple of years. Thank you so much for the hearts. There's so many ways that you can mentally retrain your brain to think a new thought when you have a fear. Portia says prayer, meditations, declarations, and affirmation. Yes, all of those work. I use prayer, meditation, and I declare, but affirmation, and it's the same thing. Affirmations, it's all the same thing. Use what works for you. Find something that uplifts you. Find something that gives you the spirit of power and confidence, that makes you stand in your authority and know what's going to work for you to bust through those fears. So, just a quick recap. It's really, really important to overcome fear by understanding what it is. No, it's biological, in a sense that it was designed for us to, fight or flight, the whole biological response. It's designed to keep us safe so we don't get harmed, so we don't just sit around and not pay attention to danger that comes our way, right? But in this modern day world, most of our fears are they're not rational. They're irrational. It is false evidence appearing real. So, it is things like rational thoughts and logic and comfort zone, especially when we're trying to break out and do new creative things, and know that we are not designed to live in a state of fear. We are not. And then next, which is the next big point, is that we need to embrace the fear and befriend it. And that looks like feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It also looks like thinking the fear, because that means that you have grown. That means that you are busting out of your comfort zone. That means that you are expanding your life. It means that you are no longer sitting in the safe place. You're moving into new ground. So I really encourage everyone to fight the fears every day, to either, get affirmation, get out your favorite saying, your scripture, arm yourself with something that will equip you to fight the limiting thoughts that you have in the head that tell you to be fearful. But instead, you want to fight them and feel the fear and do it anyway. So that's my little, woo-woo, let's overcome our fears by befriending them. Portia says this was a great scope. Thank you. Thank you so much, Portia, for hopping on. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much for taking great note for me. I don't want to, it's so hard to, make sure everyone gets all the points. And I really, really appreciate your help. I also appreciate the hearts. So has anyone had any situations where they have had to fight through fears in their life? I know that even for me, I've had to fight through fears just to get on Periscope, right? It's scary the first couple of times that you do it, or even just making decisions in my business. I've scoped about it before. I've had to turn down clients that were well-paying clients, but not in line with the mission and purpose of my particular business at this time. So, fears can show up in many different ways, but if no one else has any fears to share, I will not keep you. I just wanted to hop on and share what's on my heart about overcoming fear and befriending it. So I thank you all for coming on. I thank you so much. If you want to learn more about me, please visit bellaandthebabe.com, and I will talk with you all soon. Take care. Talk to you later. Oh, Portia says, I used to be fearful about negotiating my salary. Portia, you know what? So was I. Beautiful Lash says, great scope. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much, Beautiful Lash. Yes, you know, and it's actually more common, Portia, for women to feel that fear around money and salary and power, especially in like the corporate world. So I've gone through that as well. I've totally gone through that as well. But you know, it's important for us to, and you did a great scope about finding mentors both inside the company, outside the company, because I think they help us know our worth. And once we know our worth, then we become in a better position to then negotiate for the salary that we deserve and then some. So that's really, really good. Portia says, the first time was so scary, but you're right. The more you do it, it gets a little easier. Yes, it totally gets easier. Portia, like I feel like with anything, you know, time and experience really help. The first time is really hard, but as you do it more and more, it gets easier. I feel like for me, I'm an information person, so arming myself with information, you know, about what this salary, you know, what this job demands, right, in my particular market, what my competitors or my peers are getting paid, like all of that information. And then as you were saying on your scope, I remember your scope, I was watching it, I think it was Sunday, all about having internal mentors and external mentors. They really help you, I feel like, know your value. And once you know your value and you stand fast in that, it becomes a lot easier to be, to demand what you're worth. Because that's all that it is. It's totally just about demanding what you're worth. Portia says, absolutely. Yeah, you know, and oftentimes I've learned, especially from some of my male mentors in the business world, some people actually look down on you if you don't negotiate your salary. Some employers will start at a certain point because they expect people to come back and negotiate. And Portia says, men are great at negotiation. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And so like all of my male mentors, I've gotten some of my greatest advice from a couple of my male mentors, and they've always been like, no, you have to do a counter offer. You have to do a counter offer. You know, even if they just ended up meeting you, even if you meet them in the middle, you got to do a counter offer, because oftentimes they are setting you up to A, start out lower because they think that you're going to demand more, or B, seeing how you actually negotiate and conduct business, because this is your big contract. Employers absolutely start at a certain level to see if you think you're worth more. Definitely. Portia, they really do. And it's, you know, we live in a capitalistic society, so if they can get you cheaper, then it's a bonus for them. And it's so important that we start where we're worth. We start where our worth is for the market. And honestly, a lot of times I used to ask for even more than what the market said, because I felt like I was bringing additional talents, especially later on in my career, to the table. So, you know, the market salaries that are available, those are just, you know, a starting point. Especially, even my husband says that, they're just a starting point for the conversation, as he would say. So, you know, all of that around salary and money, especially now for entrepreneurs, you ask for what you think your business is worth. You can look at other people and see what other people are doing in terms of salary. And I know we're going down on this, but it's fighting the fear in terms of money. You can look at what other people are doing, but do not value yourself based on what others are doing, because they may have undervalued themselves. They really may have. Especially when we get into some of the creative arts. Really, you need to decide how much you think your time and efforts and, you know, work is worth. And let other people do them. So anyway, I know we've gotten on this tangent, but no, Portia, I'm so glad that you brought that up. So thanks, that's good. Thank you. But yes, definitely a worthwhile topic. Maybe I'll have to explore this again, like some of the things that I've learned in the business years and as being an attorney. And I know a lot of that comes from probably being an attorney. You negotiate, you get in there. Portia says yes. So anyway, I really have enjoyed this. If no one has anything else to add, I really thank you for coming on. Again, to learn more about me, go to bellaandthebabe.com, where I talk all about empowering your life. And I specifically focus on mothers because they're special. That's all. They're just special. So anyway, have an awesome Thursday, and I will talk with you soon. Take care.